Hello y'all, we are in Crusader Kings 2 playing the Patrum Scuta mod. What does this mod do? Well, it's not a total conversion like, say, a Game of Thrones, but it does add tons of coat of arms to different dynasties and add some new dynasties. I'll show you on the screen a before and after from vanilla to this mod to give you an idea of how it helps the European dynasties have their historical coat of arms for their dynasty. A lot of pagan coat of arms are changed, so they will have a different look as well. We're playing in 1291 as the German Kaiser of the time, Adolf of Nassau, who has succeeded Rudolf Habsburg as the Holy Roman Emperor. He has gained his position by promising concessions to the electors of the empire. To the south, Italy is divided in a patchwork of states, including Venice, Milan, Genoa, and Sicily, so it would not be very hard to take some of their land. First things first, though, we have to hatch a plan from Holland, because the Duke of Holland, somehow through some weird inheritance, has some claims on the Kingdom of Scotland. German tourists arrive in the Scottish capital to check out some of the scenery, and maybe knock down a few walls. The invasion of Scotland is underway, but in the meanwhile, in Italy, we prepare for our attacks on Genoa and Sicily by giving the claimants of those kingdoms and republics a title. Adolf has acquired a nickname. He is not the priest hater, but he is the ill ruler, which will do for now. The fight for Scotland is over. The HRE gets a little bit closer to England, and Floris of Holland is now Floris, the usurper of Scotland. To maximize the land grabbing in Italy, we are fighting three separate nations. That's slightly concerning. The Aztecs are on their way as the Sunset Invasion DLC is enabled, which I may regret doing. That's some more land conquered, so we have to go back to greater pursuits, which is making sure that my son inherits the empire instead of this guy. The Duke of Brittany wants a non-aggression pact. Sure, why not? The Pope calls for a crusade on Rome, aka Anatolia. Adolf will join to one-up Emperor Barbarossa. He will do so by not drowning on the way there. An uprising takes place in the county of Provence, something about a liberation of Arles. The crusade begins. It looks like all the great powers of Western Europe and Central Europe especially will be joining. Not too long after the march on Anatolia begins, the Aztecs arrive in Ireland to take the land the English haven't yet. The Black Death could not pick a better time to arrive with all the fighting taking place in Rome. As if one deadly epidemic is not enough, the Aztecs have brought syphilis with them. The Knights Hospitaller, better known as the Knights of St. John, are giving the whole island of Sardinia, which I'd say is an upgrade compared to the historical Rhodes or Malta. The crusade drags on once mighty armies have been reduced to few men. It is growing harder to tell what has killed more, the battles or the Black Death. The Aztecs take southern France, and if they are left to their own devices, they will probably soon take the rest of France itself. Adolf wants to be a Kaiser to remember, so he will need a bloodline, and he will be going after the one that is focused around fear. The Catholic Crusade for Anatolia is victorious. Kaiser Adolf does somehow by a miracle get 2 armors of the cross. The Holy Roman Empire now stretches from Scotland to the tip of Italy and to the central part of Anatolia. The Aztecs are at war again. This time, it looks like with the Pope. They want to take that little county next to them, I believe, that the papacy controls. Aztec forces reach Rome. It looks like they have won their war with the Pope, and they will now have a presence in Italy. A member of the Dandello dynasty is the Grand Master of the Knights Templars. They may have gotten lost in Scotland. I thought they would be in Constantinople by now. To stop the Aztecs from getting even more power, we are going to holy war them for the Duchy of Toulouse. They still have a lot of troops left, so this will be very difficult. The enemy has a 73,000 man death stack in southern France, and up north, they are attacking Scotland with 11,000 men, so the odds are not looking very good. The Iron Kaiser. Kaiser Adolf, Sword of the Blessed Virgin von Nassau, has founded a bloodline. It is the vile bloodline, so it is easier to revoke vassal titles, which is good, but there are some debuffs to it as well. Well, the Knights of St. John are now homeless, it looks like, because they have been kicked out of Sardinia by some Waldensian heretics. We sort of lost the war, and the Aztecs did take some of our commanders as captives, and as a result, Duke Alfonso of Cappadocia has been sacrificed. Fighting in the west, the Aztecs are attacking Navarra, which has brought in a ton of allies. It is the last French holdout, and we will see if they will succeed or not. Preparing for war with the Aztecs again, we will be recruiting a ton of retinues of knights. They are the special cultural retinue of the Germans. Navarra is doing a lot better than I expected, considering how the Aztecs have steamrolled the rest of France. The Aztec Empire has been inherited by a child, and we are now able to attack them again for the land of the Duchy of Picardy. Croatia is now Hungary. They are still controlled by the same family, but they decided to change their primary title for some reason. The Aztecs brought Europe syphilis, but the continent of Europe returns them smallpox. Kaiser Adolf dies at the age of 73. His grandson is elected to the position. I'm going to end the video here. Historically, Adolf had very little power or influence due to his previous commitments to the electors. He would be deposed in 1298 and would die in battle against his successor and Rudolf Habsburg's son, Albert. Adolf's descendants would later rule the Netherlands and Luxembourg. Check out the mod. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.